from The Winter Wolf. It's coming out this Halloween. It's the second book of a 2-volume series that I've written. And to set the stage a little bit, a young princess from the tundra, after an attack from slavers in the east, comes down to try and get allies so that she could defend her people. And she ends up marrying one of the southern princes. They are at the moment split. They've split their forces down the middle, and they're traveling through the tundra trying to lure the enemies further into the inhospitable climate. So I'm going to read a section from chapter 15. "That clever son of a," Algar growled as he tried to douse the fire that had engulfed his tent. The entire Tuan camp had been set ablaze. The Grails, in a bid to escape, had managed to launch flaming missiles into the heart of the Tuan encampment during an unexpected midnight raid. It did not take long for the blaze to take hold. The smoke was thick and made toxic by the dyes in the cloth that now burned, and Algar coughed as he slapped his tent with his cape until the cape caught fire. There was nothing for it. The smoke was too thick. Algar had no choice but to retreat past the billowing fumes. He was, he noted sourly, not the only one. Tired and grimy soldiers, knights, lords and vassals had scrambled back from the camp and now gathered and watched as their camp slowly crumbled to ash. Algar looked west. The Grail army had fled. They would get a good few days ahead of the Tuans, who would have to sift through the wreckage of their camp to retrieve what they could. Then there would be all the waiting for reinforcements, and more supplies, and to regroup, and to collect the horses, many of which, Algar noted, had been stolen or had bolted. In utter frustration, Algar let loose a tirade of curses, pacing and stomping about like a toddler in a tantrum. It could take as long as a week to recover from this, and Lord knows where the Grails would have fled to. "I hate this," Algar told the sky. The sky did not answer. "Well, that was rather unexpected," King Roger said cheerily from beside his son. "Why are you smiling?" Algar demanded. The king shrugged. "You have to admit, if you're trying to run away, make sure you have some distance. This would be the way to go about it." "How could we let this happen?" Algar demanded, recommencing his pacing. "I think it was because we overestimated our enemy. We did not expect them to flee. We were expecting a single, decisive, brave, if poorly planned battle. Turns out, we don't know our neighbors well at all." "They are fighting for more than just themselves," a rasping feminine voice said from behind them. Algar and Roger spun around and found only the tree to which he and his father had retreated. Algar frowned and started to turn away. "I'm up here," the voice said again. Algar looked up and noticed nothing out of the ordinary. He searched the tree, passing over the bird of prey that sat on a low branch nearby. It was only after the fourth pass that Algar noted that the osprey was looking intently at him, its neck stretched out and its chest puffed up so that it looked bigger than it was. It settled back after Algar noticed it. "Took you long enough," the voice said as the osprey began to preen. Algar's jaw fell open. "I'm going insane," he muttered to himself. "No, you're just waking up, that's all." "The raid and fire woke me up," Algar growled. The voice chuckled as the osprey cocked her head to the side and observed Algar with disturbingly keen eyes. "That was a stroke of genius. The crow's father is a clever man." "The crow's... Wait, you mean Bran, don't you? Prince Bran? Who married the Tundra Marshal, whom everyone is calling the Winter Wolf?" "Otsana, yes," the voice said. The osprey ruffled her feathers. "She's my granddaughter. Did you know that? I'm so proud." "That's ludicrous. A bird cannot be kin to a wolf." "As ludicrous as a talking bird," the osprey shot back. Algar pressed his lips together and turned away. The bird behind him chuckled. "Do you know where you come from, Prince?" Without waiting for an answer, the bird spoke on. "No." "I'll tell you then. A long time ago, 2 tundra clans journeyed south together as friends. They were the Crow clan and the Lion clan. They took up lands beside one another and remained good friends for centuries. In the west, the Crow clan fathered 13 kingdoms. In the east, the Lion clan fathered 15. Generations of Lion and Crow married to keep the friendship strong. Yet still, time made friends forget one another, and slowly friends became enemies, and the fighting started." The osprey paused. "It was not long after that that the eagle rose from the east, and the lion forgot his friends and his gods. I speak to the chiefs of the Lion and Crow clans that traveled south together every so often. They are sad they are not remembered, and that their friendship is not remembered. Do you want to know their names? I really couldn't care less. Grail was the chief of the Crow clan, and his warrior name was Bran. Tua was the chief of the Lion clan, and his warrior name was Algar. Bran Grail and Algar Tua were friends, and through marriage, kin. Go away, you old harpy, Algar rumbled. He threw a look at his father, who was staring out into the distance, pretending very poorly that he was not listening to this exchange. You are fighting kin, Algar Tua. Go away. As you like, kin of my kin. You and I are not kin. No? The crow has married an osprey who became a wolf. Algar turned slowly and faced the osprey perched on her branch. I know that. You do you? Well, you're not as ignorant as some then. Seraphima might even have liked you. Seraphima? Algar said the name a little louder than intended, and he had to wait until the curious eyes left him before he dared continue his conversation. Seraphima, princess of the Osprey clan, whom Alan met and respected. Seraphima, who was killed in battle. That Seraphima? The Osprey cocked her head at Algar. Seraphima was not killed. She was saved by the Lord of the Hunt and taken to the Shamanka of the Ice Bear clan. When she healed, the Lord of the Hunt sent her south to the land of the Crows. There she met the Bevay prince, Bran Grail, who became her husband. Algar Tua, Bran Grail is your kin, and he has married my kin. That makes us kin. Algar shook his head and turned away. This is insane. Seraphima is dead. Alan saw it with his own eyes. And I'm talking to a bird. The fumes must have gotten to me. All right, little lion, the osprey said. I thought you were at least as intelligent as the crow. It seems, alas, that Bran has more sense after all. It's a good thing it was him who married my granddaughter. With that, the osprey took flight, soaring high above the dying fires to the fleeing Grail army. That was interesting, Roger said quietly when Algar rejoined him, fuming in silence. What was interesting? What was interesting? Algar made it clear with his tone of voice that he wanted to deny the entire conversation he had had with a bird. Birds do not speak, and people most certainly do not speak to birds. Oh, nothing. That's what I thought. Scene change. On the sky of heaven.